Hello and welcome to Big Dash Knows. Big Dash knows what? I thought I knew New York Giants football. That's what I thought. I thought I knew that. Looking at the cuts today, maybe I don't know as much as I thought I knew. And I'm not saying that I know everything because I don't. But some of the guys that got cut today surprised me. Hopefully, some of these guys can make it to the practice squad. And we already know that the New York Giants are going to be busy when it comes to the waiver wire. There's probably going to be a lot of claims being handed out, and we'll see who the New York Giants get. I believe tomorrow we'll start seeing some of the results from the waiver wire. But right off the bat, let me know how you guys feel, because right now you probably already know who made the team. Shout out to the beat writers. Shout out to the NFL insiders for keeping everything posted. Beat writers were at practice today. They saw who was on the field and who wasn't on the field. They also saw who was on the field and they had to get walked off the field, which that probably sucks. But again, we pretty much know right now who the 53 are going to be. We do know who the 5 captains are going to be for the New York Giants. Special teams are going to be Casey Crater. Offense is going to be Andrew Thomas and Daniel Jones. And on the defensive side, Bobby Okereke and Dexter Lawrence. 5 captains for the New York Giants. No longer do we have 10 captains for the New York Giants. It never made sense anyway. At least now we know we can get all of these guys, at the coin toss. But without further ado, I know what you're here for. Let's talk about this 53-man roster. Do I want to start on the offensive side or the defensive side? And I will say this, though. When I made my prediction and just looking at the results of my prediction, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys. 5 guys that I had making the 53 didn't make it. And that's what it is. I'm going to start on the defensive side because it's probably the easiest thing to do. No changes in regards to what the defensive line, who made the 53. Dexter Lawrence, Nacho, Elijah Chapman, Jordan Riley, and DJ Davison. Now, I thought DJ Davison would be on the bubble. And again, we're just talking about the initial 53. This thing just keeps going. It's fluid throughout the whole year. I expect some of the guys that are on this list today to not be there once the claims are awarded in the next few days. But right now, today, it is what it is when it comes to the defensive line. So let's talk about it. Again, no surprises except for DJ Davison. I did believe that DJ Davison was going to make the squad because in all reality, there's no real other nose tackle. You have Jordan Riley that could give you some nose snaps, but he's more of a DT rather than a nose tackle. Elijah Chapman is everything but a nose tackle. So DJ Davison being that guy, he makes the team. Let's see how long he sticks. When it comes to their edge room, again, for me, no surprises. Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau, Boogie Basham, Azeez Ojulari, Benton Whitley. I had Benton Whitley on my 53 in my prediction. Benton Whitley made the team. The coaches like him. He had a pretty good training camp, showed up, had some flashes in the preseason as well. Shout out to Benton Whitley. But again, we don't know what's going to happen when it comes to these waiver wires. Interior linebackers. Now, this part surprised me a lot. But when I think about it, the more and more I think about it, it's not surprising because it's just a Giants thing to do. Bobby Okereke, of course, team captain. Micah McFadden, Darius Muasau, Deontay Johnson, and then the 2 guys that surprised me, Carter Coughlin and Matt Adams. Carter Coughlin was a bubble guy in my opinion, but Matt Adams, I did not have Matt Adams making the 53 at all. But right now, I guess they love him for whatever reason. But Matt Adams, congratulations to you, did make the 53. I had Isaiah Simmons counted in this room versus like the safety room. But yeah, it is what it is. I'm surprised that Carter Coughlin and Matt Adams, Darian Beavers gone. That was just something that had to happen. Didn't quite get back to where he needed to be. Ends up being waived by the New York Giants. I'm not sure if they pick him up on for the practice squad either. We'll see what happens with that. Maybe a change of scenery might be the best thing for Darian Beavers, but we will see, who the practice squad guys are going to be, later. All right, when we get to the cornerbacks, surprisingly, I only saw, five real cornerbacks added. And I originally had six cornerbacks making the squad. Trey Herndon did not make the squad. Darnay Holmes did not make the squad. How do you guys feel about Darnay Holmes? I know for me, I didn't think he was going to make the 53. I didn't have him down. I did have Trey Herndon, but the New York Giants only kept Banks, McLeod, Phillips, Hawkins, and Flott initially. So that tells me they are absolutely going after a cornerback on the waiver wire. We saw guys like C.J. Henderson, Caleb Farley from the Titans. He has, some history with Shane Bowen. So those are two names that I'm looking at as far as possible waiver claims. Again, that's C.J. Henderson and Caleb Farley. There's also Keenan Isaac from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, another cornerback to keep your eye out for, I should say. But yeah, man, that five cornerbacks just lets me know exactly what's going on. I saw, I believe it was Dan Duggan. I saw him have Isaiah Simmons listed as a cornerback, but we'll see what happens. He did play some slot corner all through training camp and some in the preseason. But with these injuries to the linebacker room, I assume that Isaiah Simmons is going to play more linebacker than corner or safety. And then I believe we only kept three safeties. Jason Pinnock, Tyler Newman, and Dane Belton. Now, there was reports that Javarius Owens was on the practice field, and then he was walked off with two other, workers for the Giants. And, that only means one thing. It sucks that the man got to the field and then had to be walked off the field. That's a little crazy that they let him get to the field. But again, I'm pretty sure we'll hear more about that, or maybe we won't. But yeah, man, so, Javarius Owens, I didn't have him making the 53. I had Alex Johnson making the 53. He was also cut as well. But yeah, three safeties. So we got five defensive linemen, five edge rushers, six linebackers, five defensive backs or cornerbacks, and three safeties on the defensive side. Let's switch it over to the offensive side, man. Now, I got the news early in the morning that Isaiah Hodgins was cut. I was absolutely surprised by this. And the first thing I said was, okay, so Allen Robinson, Miles Boykin, these guys are making the team. Wrong. Get the news that Allen Robinson cut. Miles Boykin cut. So that means, and I'm just going to start with the wide receivers when I start this off. For the wide receivers, we have Neighbors, Slayton, Wan'Dale Robinson, Jalen Hyatt, and then Bryce Ford Wheaton and Gunnar Olszewski make the initial 53. I think that Gunnar Olszewski is going to end up on either the IR or the PUP list, possibly because of his injury. But you go ahead and you cut Isaiah McKenzie too. So two of your starting returners, or the guys you have penciled in as returners, Gunnar and McKenzie. Gunnar makes the 53, but McKenzie cut. So and Gunnar possibly injured. You're probably looking for a returner. There was reports out earlier that the New York Giants were looking for returners. We'll see what happens with that. But also, Bryce Ford Wheaton surprises me because I don't feel like I saw enough from Bryce Ford Wheaton or heard enough about Bryce Ford Wheaton this whole training camp. And also in the preseason games, I watched the games all the way through. You did not see Bryce Ford Wheaton a lot, especially when it came to the offense. And the only bad play, on special teams, the only bad play I saw was when he allowed the ball to hit him in the foot. But other than that, they're banking on the upside for Bryce Ford Wheaton, whether that be special teams, whether that be, actually helping out or contributing on the offensive side of the ball. But Bryce Ford Wheaton makes the squad. Tight ends go. 3 tight ends. Just like I said, Daniel Bellinger, Theo Johnson, Chris Manhertz, not in that order, but those are the 3 guys in the tight end room. 3 running backs. Dante Miller did not make the 53, and a lot of people, you can't say a lot of people are surprised. He was a bubble guy. I felt like the New York Giants needed to keep him on the roster. Right now, we're going to hope that he makes it through waivers and we're able to add him to the practice squad because he is someone that has shown some explosiveness. I think if any one of our running backs were to go down, I would gladly add Dante Miller. So we have Devin Singletary, Eric Gray, Tyrone Tracy in the running back room, and that's it. But Dante Miller surprised me a little bit. That's one of the ones I got wrong as far as my prediction. I did have Dante Miller making the squad. But yeah, man, that sucks for Dante Miller. Next, we're going to talk about the quarterbacks. The New York Giants will keep 3 quarterbacks like everybody thought, like everybody pretty much knew. As soon as you have the injury with Drew Lock, you knew that Tommy DeVito was going to make this 53 because you can't trust Drew Lock to be healthy week 1. And how can you have a backup quarterback that can't throw all of the routes? So that's why, Tommy DeVito makes the squad, in my opinion. Lock is making too much money for you to cut. And also right now, today, he is a better player than Tommy DeVito. Tommy DeVito is still developing. Tommy DeVito, gave us a little bit of boost of energy last year, and I think he's still riding that same wave, and he makes the 53 as QB3. Now, again, we're keeping our eyes out on quarterbacks, or I should say I'm keeping my eyes out on the quarterback cuts. Especially that Cleveland Browns room. We saw that they decided to keep Dorian Thompson-Robinson, and right now it looks like they're fielding trades for Jameis Winston and also Tyler Huntley, and both of those guys right now today I would pick over Tommy DeVito. Again, go ahead and let me know how you feel about that in the comments down below. Finally, let's talk about this offensive line. The offensive line. Of course, we have Andrew Thomas, captain. John Runyon makes the squad. JMS, Greg Van Roten, Jermaine Illuminor all make the squad. I had the New York Giants taking 9 offensive linemen in my prediction. All the guys that I had in my prediction ended up being on the 53. They just added one more player. The guy that was not on my list but is on the list for the New York Giants is Joshua Ezeudu. So we have our 3 tackles with Andrew Thomas, Jermaine Illuminor, Evan Neal. 4 tackles, Evan Neal, and now Ezeudu, who's a versatile backup for both tackle and guard. When it comes to guards, we have Runyon, Greg Van Roten, Aaron Stinney, Jake Kubas. Shout out to Kubas, UDFA. Took advantage of all the opportunities that he got this preseason and in training camp. And he is some guy that can develop for the New York Giants and possibly turn into something. And then the centers, JMS, Alex Schlotman makes the team. And for Alex Schlotman, or Alan Schlotman, sorry, guaranteed money. Only other real center on the 53. Had an up and down training camp, but did enough for the New York Giants to keep him on the 53. And that's what we have, man. That's what we have. Let me know what you guys feel about, or let me know how you guys feel about the 53. Let me know if you guys are looking at any possible cuts from other teams that you would add to the New York Giants. Again, I have a long list of guys, not a long list, but I got about 5 or 6 guys that I would, put waiver claims on, especially when it comes to the cornerbacks, maybe defensive tackle, and also maybe linebackers, try to upgrade the back end of that. But yeah, man. Yeah, we're here 1 week closer to actual NFL football. I'm excited about that. Hopefully Joe Schoen is on the phone right now trying to figure out exactly what he wants to do when it comes to these claims. And I can't wait to see what the roster looks like tomorrow or the next day when a lot of this stuff starts to settle for real. Because, again, this 53-man cut is very, very fluid. Some guys will make the team for 24 hours and then be replaced by a waiver claim. And that's where we're at. And it sucks, but that's just the business of the NFL. So that's going to be the video. I want to thank everybody for vibing with me. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And for one Giants fan to another, this is Big Dash Knows, Big Blue Nation. Let's go.